You know how when you collect manga and you quickly realize that you don't have enough room for the manga and that you might be a little bit obsessed? Hello, welcome to Atrocious Gameplay, where we are exactly in that position. In the month of October, I have went and bought a good chunk of manga, in my personal opinion, for someone who literally does not make a penny on YouTube. Please subscribe to help fund my addiction. But that's okay, because I always find good deals and I always find cheap prices for these volumes. So the last manga collection video that I showcased was my collection up to that point. It wasn't necessarily a specific month, it's just everything that I had up to that point. If you want to watch that video as well, you can go check it out in the iCard up here. But this time it's going to be all the volumes that I got in the month of October. Now, there were some new releases that came out in October. There were some things that came out in September that didn't deliver until October. And then also I was blessed to get some of these volumes from people in the mail from our community. If you ever want to send me some manga, whatever that may be, something you might want me to read, make sure to go check out the description where you can find my PO box. But anyways, let's get into it and see what I have gotten myself into. And so the first one we're gonna kick off here, I was able to get a, man, I said manga video, and we're starting off with a light novel. 86, for anyone who does not know, is a very popular series going on right now, very military mecha anime airing. Part 2 is going on right now in the first season. And this is an absolutely beautiful story, and a lot of these volumes as well are kind of hard to find, especially when you go around the middle. I was able to get in the restock of volume 4 on RIOT stuff, and I love this series. I can't wait for it to continue on, and the anime has just been astounding up to this point. Now, going back to people sending me manga in the mail, I was able to get the first 2 volumes of Agent Demi-Human. Now, this is definitely like a horror manga. This almost reminds me kind of like Tokyo Ghoul type stuff, but the first 2 volumes of this was absolutely so spooky. I highly recommend it. There is an anime that is out of this, and I think it's currently still publishing in terms of in the United States or outside of Japan. So maybe if you can't commit to the manga, check out the anime. I have yet to see it. It's on my list for the next upcoming animes that I want to watch, but from what I've gotten in the first 2 volumes of the manga, I think it's a good recommendation, and I really enjoy it. Now, if you follow me on social media, you may remember how much I love a silent voice. I ended up watching this movie very recently, and I definitely cried more than once. But A Silent Voice quickly became one of my top anime, movies, shows, etc. of all time. I was only able in the manga at the time. I wanted to get one more book, and I was just browsing through stuff that I can get, and I ended up seeing the first volume of A Silent Voice. So I'm gonna have to work to get the rest of this manga, because this I don't believe is new. Yeah, published in the English translation in about 2015. So definitely not something that can be easy to find, I would say. At least in my local area, it's not very easy to find this. Now, I ended up jumping back on the Attack on Titan Before the Fall series. Now, if you know me, you know I have the first couple volumes of Attack on Titan Before the Fall. I love Attack on Titan. I'm very excited for the final part of the final season coming out here very soon. I think January, right? I believe January 2022. But this is a really cool side story that kind of gives the prequel to the series, and I think is really cool and offers a new fresh perspective and a new fresh story if you like Attack on Titan. And through 4 volumes, because I have already read this, through 4 volumes, I actually really recommend it. I think it's really good, and I think it's really cool, and I kind of like the character in here. The main character is kind of a, I don't know, bad. Now, this is a series that I have fallen head over heels for. I have gotten the first 3 volumes, so completely up to date on The Boys Run the Riot. Now, if you do not know, this is a story about a transgender character, and that is something that we often don't see in modern anime up to this point. We see people cross-dress. You never really see people truly identify as transgender and openly identify as that in anime and manga. And so I ended up picking this up as a recommendation from one of the members in our community, Trey, and I fell in love with it. I love art. I love the different styles that come along with it and the expressions, just like how Blue Period does. And so especially with this as well, the 2 main characters through here, I just love their story, and I love, at least through the first volume. I actually haven't gotten to the second and the third, but I thought the first was so good that I went out and just bought these right away. So that could tell you right there how good it is. But if you want a good casual read, maybe not necessarily shown in action or whatever, this is what you should pick up, in my opinion. Now, the next one is actually what I'm reading right now. We're going back to the light novels and going into Don Machi's Sword Oratoria. Now, you haven't heard me say this before, but I think the light novel series of Sword Oratoria, like some of the best books that I've read in my anime slash manga slash light novel journey. The world building in this series is phenomenal, in my personal opinion, and even though it follows the same canon storyline as the anime does, it offers a different perspective coming from Ace Wallenstein, this character right here, but then also on top of that offers new fresh stories that kind of add into the canon of the anime and manga. So not only is there fresh ways to tell the new story, but there's also complementary stuff on top of that that is just absolutely phenomenal, in my opinion. So I love this series. It's hard for me to put this down, and honestly, if I had a full-time job, I probably would have bought the entire series as of right now, but we're only 4 away. If you guessed another light novel, you would be correct. Now, Date Alive is the next book that I have. I got the 3rd one of Date Alive to stay up to date with the current releases that are going on right now. I mean, I just love Date Alive. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. I think the story, whoa, that was kind of Manga right there. But anyways, it's got really goofy and lovable characters in it, and it kind of has a little bit of an interesting story, I think. I think the way that the characters interact with each other is kind of interesting. So this person as well, Kurumi, she's like my favorite. She can step on me. Now I'm gonna have to reach down here, oh gosh, and grab the big one. If you didn't see on the community post on YouTube or on Twitter, oh gosh, you can't even really see it. I have the box collection of the Demon Slayer manga that came out in September. I didn't really get it until just about a week ago, and I absolutely love Demon Slayer. I'm super excited for the entertainment arc coming in, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Let me open it up and show you maybe a couple of the volumes real quick. But this has all the volumes 1 through 23 inside of it, for anyone who's wondering. It's really hard to find Demon Slayer in my local area, and especially on Right Stuff when like some are sold out, some are not, things like that. It's just way easier to just go ahead, buy myself a birthday gift from September, and then boom, just get all of them completed right there in the box. Absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait to start reading this. I have yet to start reading this. I'm trying to finish Sword Oratoria first, but then I'm just gonna deep dive right into this all the way up to the entertainment arc, go through the first season and then the Mugen Train movie, and then boom, I'll be ready to rock and roll once season 2 starts airing. Oh gosh, I should start lifting more, like working out. That's heavy. We're gonna move on back into single volumes and go into Fairy Tail. Now, if you do not remember from the last manga video that I published, I said that I was going to read through Fairy Tail before I watch it. It's gonna be a manga that I dedicate myself to reading first before I end up watching the anime. And right now, I've only read volume 4 up to this point. I haven't read volume 5 yet. I just got it the other day. So I'm very, very excited. I really like this series, and I like its art style as well. It kind of reminds me of One Piece. So very, very cool art style, I would say. And it's very, very enjoyable so far. I think the characters are funny. There's a good variety of them. There's a good knock-on jokes, shonen action, different things like that, and I'm excited to see how it goes forward because this is a very highly touted series. The reason why I'm also getting single volumes and not a box set is because, well, when I first bought Fairy Tail, I didn't know that there were box sets, so yeah. Continuing on the wonderful shonen series, we have the 3rd and 4th volumes of Fire Force. Now, Fire Force, in my opinion, has some of the best sound effects and some of the best action scenes that I've seen so far in anime, and the manga has been terrific as well. There's been tons of manga panels that I absolutely love, want to save for my future manga wall, and I think this art style and I think this story is very, very well conveyed and very, very good, and I'm excited to try to get more Volume 5 is a little tough to get to in my personal opinion, but eventually I will be snagging it. I can assure you I'll get it someday. Now, this next one is actually a manga that I have not read through yet. I just recently got this. It's Hell's Paradise. Now, this is a story that I've heard really good things about, and people in our community have recommended it to me. So they said that I would like it based on what I like in terms of the anime that I've been watching. So I ended up picking this up. They had a couple of these at my local store, and I personally love colors. I love a variety of colors. I love bright in your face colors. So this pink and blue on the cover absolutely catches my eye right away, and I'm very excited to start reading this and getting into this, and hopefully I'll be able to get more when I want to move on to volume 2 and beyond. This was published in 2018, so not necessarily new, but not necessarily old either. I could probably get lucky in trying to find the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 volumes. Now, we got a lot of volumes of this next one, and honestly, I got more coming on the way. We ended up getting Jujutsu Kaisen number 12 because, well, this was a new one that released, so it was pretty easy to get, but also because Right Stuff was restocking, I also got volumes 3, ended up getting this one with no bar on it. We got volume 6 as well, volume 7, and then volume 10. But don't worry, that's not all, I will say, because I actually got a $50 gift card from Twitch on Amazon. So because I did like some interview research thing with them, so I was able to get some more manga of that, and I ended up getting like 3 other volumes of Jujutsu Kaisen that I did not have yet that were in stock on Amazon but weren't in stock on like Right Stuff or something. So I basically got them for free. But I absolutely love Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm so excited for the movie that's coming out in late December. Hopefully I'll be able to watch it sooner rather than later, because it at least comes out in Japan during that time. But I love this series, and I'm still looking for number 2 though, because I've only read number 1 and I can't read number 3 without number 2. I'm just a mess. Speaking on volumes that I can't read yet, we've got Komi Can't Communicate volume 10 and 15. Now, in the month of October, volume 15 came out and released, so I ended up picking this up. And then every so often when I go, I try to pick up a Komi Can't Communicate volume. Now that the anime is out, it's going to get more and more popular, and volumes may be harder and harder to find as more people pick up Komi Can't Communicate. I absolutely love this shoujo story. I think it's absolutely wonderful comedy, romance, slice of life type deal. Absolutely excited for the anime. The anime's first episode had a little bit of problems in terms of translating. It didn't really translate anything on the board. For those of you that know what moment I'm talking about, if you've read Komi Can't Communicate or seen the episode, but I'm excited for what's to come. A lot of people have bbeen really enjoying the other episodes that have aired in Japan, Netflix, and so hopefully when they all come to the US, I enjoy them just the same, because I just can't. I really also need to find volume 6, because volume 6 does not exist. I refuse to believe it exists. And now going back to the recommendations, we have Moriarty. So this actually is really cool manga. I've only read this first volume because that's all I own. This was actually a gift from Trey in our community, so shout out to you, Trey, for sending me not only Moriarty but also some other wonderful volumes and recommendations as well. But this is a really interesting Eat the Rich story. This is definitely a psychological type of story, so if you're into stuff like kakegurui with like tricks, deception, things like that, this is a good story for you. I also heard that there's an anime of this, so that is another anime that's been added onto my list, and eventually we'll watch someday. But it was so good. I loved it so much. I love the story. I love the goals of the characters, and I think it's going to be really good if I can get my hands on the other volumes of Moriarty. I mean, again, Eat the Rich. Now, transitioning back into shoujo stuff, we've got My Senpai is Annoying, the second volume. Now, My Senpai is Annoying is an anime that just started airing this fall, and I absolutely love it. I think it's really, really funny, the interactions between these two characters, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the series holds. And I love the different colors. Whoa, gosh, I'm sorry about that. I love the different colors as well in this manga. I told you before I love colors, and so with every panel and every section of this manga is colored. I absolutely love this. I think it's very, very funny. If you like also the Komi Can't Communicate series, you might as well check this one out. Now, one that gets a little bit more serious, or at least to me, it like makes my cheeks clench. It's Rent a Girlfriend Volume 9. Now, I believe this came out very early October, or maybe the Right Stuff order when I pre-ordered this didn't get to me until October. Instructions unclear. But I really, really love Rent a Girlfriend. Another one of those ones that I gotta be careful opening these shoujo books. But I absolutely love this series. I can't wait for season 2 to come out eventually. I think it's scheduled for 2022, although I don't think we know when yet, so I would assume maybe the fall or winter. By winter, I mean like December 2022, which I guess would be winter 2023, but anyways, this is a very, very good story in my opinion. I love the characters. Sumi is the best girl, and I will not stand for anything else. Now, if you're an otaku and you're reading shoujo as well, love might actually be really hard, but if you've read Wotakoi, maybe it'll give you I'm sorry, it's not Wotakoi, it's Otakoi. I think it's Otakoi. I think I heard someone in a YouTube video like Mother's Basement say Otakoi, and I was like, oh, okay, so the W is non-existent. But Otakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku is a wonderful, wonderful story about two otakus just getting together and decide to start dating because nothing else has worked out for them if they're dating non-otakus. And it's another very, very fun story, slice of life rom-com, and absolutely fun. I love the characters in it. I love the different interactions. There's different types of otakus that supplement the story and give a little bit of variety to relate to everybody who loves anime and manga. And then also maybe a little bit of people who aren't otakus dating people that are otakus. The world is yet unknown. I've only read the first 2 volumes right now. I've seen season 1 of the anime, which I believe is only 29 chapters of the manga, which at this point is a little bit inside here. So I've got a little bit to go before I catch up with season 1 of the anime, and I'm waiting for season 2. Someday it'll come. But ending it off, well, maybe not necessarily ending it off, but anyways, you'll know what I mean here in a second. Your Name, the light novel. Now, this is another beautiful movie that I had watched very recently, about a month ago, and I absolutely loved it. And it's just 1 volume for the story. It's just this book right here is the light novel, and I love hardback books, so I was like, you know what, I'll just pick this up. I love this story. I'm gonna want to buy it, and it's not that old. Yeah, printed in 2017, so I mean, it's gonna get harder to find this very, very soon. I think because the anime movie is relatively new, within like the last 2 years, I'm pretty sure. But this is an absolutely extraordinary story, especially if you like isekai type stuff. I think this is classified as an isekai, maybe? Pretty sure. But anyways, it's an excellent watch, and I can't wait to read this. I haven't gotten to it yet, but eventually I'll be able to read this. Now, the last thing I got for this isn't necessarily something that I got in October, but I forgot to put this in my manga collection video. But I've also already made a video literally opening this, because this is my first box set, the Tokyo Ghoul RE box set that I got on sale at Amazon. So I don't know what to do with this actually. So if you want to see this, go check out the iCard up top, because, well, that's where you can find the manga, me opening it, and we literally go through every single volume in that video. So I'm not going to showcase any of them right now. I will save it for you in that video. But that's all the manga that I got right now. Pretty good, I would say, for me personally. I think that's 55 total volumes, which for me is pretty good amount. I may have gone a little bit overboard this month, I'm not gonna lie. That's only because of Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is a full 23 of those 55, so I wasn't even that much. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please make sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments what you're reading as of right now. I'm always reading manga, and light novels is probably why I buy so much. So I'd love to know what you're reading. I'd love to know your recommendations, and I hope to see you in the next video that we got coming on. I've got some videos planned here on YouTube, so we're gonna bring more content as the time goes on, and I hope you're here for it as well. So have a great rest of the day. See you later, and keep being in a good, I don't even know where I was going with that. Have fun.